Is there something we're not doing now that we could add to our game that would help us get to the next level? The short answer is yes. The long answer is precisely what the rest of this video is about. Let's get to it. Hello and welcome to Pro Pickleball Media, your #1 spot for all pickleball content. Our channel is dedicated to the fastest growing sport in the US, and we cover all fun and exciting things related to pickleball. So if you love pickleball and want to learn more about it, just take a second to subscribe and press the bell icon so you don't miss any of our recent videos. In today's video, we're going to talk about the best pickleball tricks that can help you jump from 3.0 to 4.0 plus skill level in no time. Now let's get right into the video. If you want to win more pickleball matches, you must learn how to bring your A game every match. Let's look at these tricks one by one. Shore up your weaknesses. Almost every pickleball player in the world has part of their game that they aren't as good at. Maybe a player has a weak backhand, so they decide to run around every shot so they can hit with their forehand instead. Maybe a player isn't good at drop shots, so they only use drives on their third shot. No matter what it is, many players will change their game to hide the parts they aren't as good at. If you want to get better at pickleball and move up level, one of the best things you can do is work on your weaker skills. The only way to do this is to not avoid them during games or practices. Say you think your backhand isn't very good. Instead of moving to avoid it in your next game, tell yourself that you will use your backhand anyway. This doesn't mean you should always hit with your backhand or never use your forehand. It just means that you will hit a backhand shot when it's clear that's the best move. Will you make some mistakes? Of course, but you should also be able to hit some good shots and improve even a little for your next match. If we run away from our weaknesses, they will never get better. And if your bucket is full of holes and leaking water everywhere, you might as well forget about moving up in ranks. Play against different opponents. We can also get better at our game by going up against different people. When you play against the same person or people in every game, you will start to see patterns and create a strategy to beat them. When you play someone you don't know as well, or a team that's a better match for you, you might find flaws in your game. This can make you angry and make you feel bad about yourself on the court. By playing different teams often, you can make your game more well-rounded, get a better idea of how good you really are. Play with two good wings. Most players have a weaker shot with their backhand. It's likely to stay that way for a long time as they play pickleball. Just because your backhand isn't as good as your other shots doesn't mean that your whole game is bad. You don't have to be as good with your backhand as with your forehand, just make sure it doesn't hurt you. When you play, you want to have two good wings instead of just one good wing, your forehand. When you're playing a game, you should sometimes try to use as many backhand shots as you can. This will mean getting into a position where you don't use your forehand to hit the ball, but instead use your backhand. It'll probably feel strange and you might not do well in the game. That's not the point though. The goal is to just get used to your backhand shot and work hard to make it better. You should see improvement after a few of these games, and you'll be well on your way to having two good wings when you play pickleball. Now before we move ahead to talk about more game-changing pickleball tips, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to our channel so that we can keep bringing more informative pickleball content to you. Your little contribution means a lot to us. Develop a better soft game. Most players' backhand shots are not as good as their forehand shots, and since they play pickleball, it's likely to stay that way for a long time. But just because your backhand isn't as good as your other shots doesn't mean your whole game is bad. You don't need to be as good with your backhand as you are with your forehand, just make sure it doesn't hurt you. You want to have two good wings when you play instead of just one. When you are playing a game, you should sometimes try to use as many backhand shots as you can. This will require you to move so you can hit the ball with your backhand instead of your forehand. Might feel weird and you might not do well into the game, but that's not the point. The goal is to get used to your backhand shot and work hard to make it better. After a few of these games, you should notice an improvement and you'll be well on your way to having two good wings when you play pickleball. Go for high percentage shots, not perfect ones. One mistake that many players make is that they try to make every shot perfect. The truth is that no one always makes the perfect shot. Good players will instead focus on picking the best shot for the current situation. Most of the time, there are more than one way to do something. For example, if you're in a rally, you could return the ball with a dink shot or try to speed up the ball to make it harder for your opponent to hit. In that situation, the dink has probably an 80% chance of going in. The speed-up shot, on the other hand, might only work 40% of the time. Most of the time, strong, consistent players will pick the 80% shot over the 40% shot. It might not be flashy, and that shot might not show them what they need to see, but it is a simpler shot that keeps the rally going and gives your opponent a chance to make a mistake. Going for shots with a high chance of success will help you make fewer mistakes that aren't your fault. This will make you much more consistent. Use active patience. In pickleball, you win by being patient. You make better decisions and avoid some of the chances you shouldn't take if you're patient. This doesn't mean you should play weakly or wait for your opponent to make the first mistake. Instead, it means that you're waiting for the great chance to score your point or put away. Here are a few active ways to be patient. Hit balls that are above your waist. Take deep breaths to calm down and loosen up. Don't be too hard on yourself. No one is perfect. Use more of your shoulder in your golf swing. Being more consistent can be helped by having good mechanics. Focus on making your swing smooth and controlled instead of having a big backswing. Use your shoulder all the way through your swing to give it a more powerful and control. Shrink the court. Players also have trouble when they try too hard to put their shots along the sides or in the corners of the court. Instead, you should aim your shots towards the middle or 2 to 3 feet from the sides and make the court smaller. Clear the net. Respect the net. There's nothing worse than making a great shot and having the ball go right into the net. If you keep hitting the top of the net, try aiming 4 to 6 inches above the net to give yourself room to make mistakes. It's best to do this with every shot, making changes as needed so your opponents can't spike you every time. Keep the ball out front. Keeping the ball in front of your body is a great way to hit shots consistently. Pop-ups and errors can happen if they let the ball get behind you or too close to your body. Instead, try hitting the ball when it's out in front of you, but don't get too far. You shouldn't reach the shot, which will make you lose your balance. Don't run right through it. Don't forget, feet first, swing second. Do a little walking as possible. Players often make the mistake of moving their feet while they swing or running into the ball. This makes a lot of problems. It's harder to get your paddle to the sweet spot. As you move, your eyes jump around, and it's almost impossible to touch the ball just right for any shot you want to take. Try this sequence instead. Beat the ball to the spot. Establish your feet, then swing. By completing these steps on every swing, you'll ensure that you put your best shot on the ball and give yourself the best chance of hitting the shot you desire at that moment. So what is your current skill level in pickleball? Tell us in the comments. Also, don't forget to like this video and share it with your fellow picklers. Also, if you love pickleball, then make sure to watch the next video on our channel. Thanks for watching. Bye.